What if I told you that your business, no matter how solid, could go extinct? Not because of bad leadership, not because of market collapse, but because it refused to adapt to change. Digital transformation? Survive and Thrive in an Era of Mass Extinction by Thomas Siebel is not just a wake-up call, it's a survival guide for anyone navigating the fourth industrial revolution. But does this book really offer tools to thrive or just buzzwords to survive? Let's critically unpack it. The big premise. Siebel opens with a high-stakes claim. We are living in an era where digital Darwinism is real. The companies that fail to evolve digitally won't be around for long. He compares today's tech shift to the mass extinctions in Earth's history. Dramatic? Yes, but is it accurate? Absolutely. He identifies the core technologies that are reshaping everything. 1. Cloud computing. 2. Big data. 3. Artificial intelligence AI. 4. Internet of Things IoT. According to Siebel, these aren't just tools, they're forces. Forces that are creating the survival of the fittest scenario across every industry. His examples of Sears, Blockbuster, and Toys R Us prove his point. Companies that ignore transformation don't fade, they collapse. Strategy over jargon. Unlike many business books, Siebel's work avoids fluff. He gives frameworks. For instance, he introduces a practical digital transformation strategy rooted in incremental deployment rather than a full-blown tech overhaul. This is smart and realistic. Companies don't need to jump off cliffs to transform. They can test small, scale smart. He also emphasizes security as a pillar of practical insight, often ignored in transformation books. C3.ai single quotes S own approach, as detailed in the book, includes embedding security by design, not by reaction. Another critical idea, culture eats tech for breakfast. Siebel points out that transformation fails not because of bad software, but because of rigid company culture. His advice: break silos, empower teams, retrain staff. It's not glamorous, but it's gold. Case studies that matter. Here, the book shines. Siebel brings real companies into the conversation. Enel, a 60 million customer utility company that migrated to the cloud and saw operational costs drop while system efficiency soared. US Air Force, it embraced AI for predictive maintenance, saving millions and extending the life of aircraft. 3M and Shell adopted IoT and AI for supply chain transparency, predictive analytics, and resource optimization. Each case proves a single point. Transformation isn't just for tech giants. It's for legacy companies if they're bold enough to rethink their DNA. Now for the critique. The book is heavy on macro vision, but sometimes lacks granular guidance for small businesses and startups. Not every company has the resources of C3.ai, Shell, or 3M. Also, Siebel's tone often leans towards evangelism. While that's inspiring, it occasionally oversimplifies real-world resistance like the time, cost, and risk of transitioning outdated systems. And yes, while the future-focused vision is powerful, more could be said about ethics in AI and social impact. The book could benefit from a chapter dedicated to human-centered tech deployment. What happens to jobs? How do we train those displaced? So, what can mid-level managers, educators, and startup founders take from this book? 3 major, actionable lessons. 1. Don't digitize your past, design your future. Siebel warns against simply automating current processes. Instead, leaders should rethink why the process exists at all. This is a game-changing insight. The real transformation isn't in tools, it's in mindset. 2. Centralize your data. The book smartly points out that digital transformation fails when organizations don't have a unified data strategy. One of the most valuable pieces of advice is, build a data fabric first, or everything else will crumble. 3. Build a digital immune system. Siebel urges companies to treat cybersecurity like their nervous system, deeply embedded, reactive, and always learning. With rising ransomware attacks, this advice couldn't be more urgent. Here's where we step back. While Siebel's vision is bold, some might argue the book repackages ideas already circulating in tech circles. Words like agility, platformization, and data-driven decisions aren't new. What's different is how the book connects them under the lens of extinction and survival. This mass extinction metaphor is both its strength and weakness. It grabs attention, but might alienate leaders who need hope more than threat. A more balanced tone could have reached a wider audience. One of the most meaningful chapters is where Siebel addresses workforce reskilling. He doesn't just advocate for automation. He stresses upskilling. That's rare. He recommends developing digital literacy across all levels. Not every worker needs to become a data scientist, but everyone must understand how digital tools impact their role. This human-centered touch adds credibility to his otherwise tech-heavy narrative. Still, the book could have gone further. What about emotional resilience? Change management? Burnout? These are real hurdles in digital journeys that deserve more space. So, should you read Digital Transformation? Survive and thrive in an era of mass extinction. If you're a CEO, policymaker, tech lead, or just someone watching your industry change faster than ever, yes, but don't treat it as gospel. Treat it as a strategy map. Then redraw it for your reality. The book doesn't give all the answers, but it makes you ask the right questions. Because in today's world, it's not just the strongest or smartest who survive. It's those who transform deliberately, responsibly, and fast.
Like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives on game-changing books. And tell us, how is your organization adapting to the digital wave?